Hey y'all, welcome back to the Lit Lair. I thought I should probably do a YouTube newbie tag and video to tell you guys a little bit about myself. I am so new to BookTube that I didn't really know BookTube newbie was a thing. A little bit of an intro video. I'm actually so new to BookTube that I didn't really realize BookTube was a thing. I just knew that I wanted to do a YouTube channel where I talked about books, and that was that. So I'm learning a lot, and I just wanted to kind of share a little bit about my background and a little bit of an intro video so that you guys know kind of a little bit about me. My channel is going to focus on contemporary romance, including all of its subgenres, mostly romantic comedies, a little bit of a backstory on why I want to focus on contemporary romance. So I fell in love with the contemporary romance genre during the pandemic, just like the rest of the world. And I am a high school English teacher, and for COVID for me meant that for a year and a half I taught virtually. Some teachers love that. I absolutely hated it. And my whole reason for being a teacher is to interact with the students and just talking about a novel with them and helping them with their writing, or helping a kid find direction after high school, not knowing what they want to do with their lives, and kind of coming alongside them and helping them figure it out just is what drives me, is what energizes me, and is what I'm very passionate about. So for me, teaching is a calling, and that's a whole different story, so I won't get into that. But I'm completely distraught during this virtual teaching stint, and it was a year and a half. It was a long time. So what that meant for me was even my creative side of teaching was taken away. I had to teach this curriculum, this self-paced curriculum, which was already sort of written. Again, for some teachers that sounds like a dream, but for me it was terrible, and I hated it, and it left me just sort of feeling listless and defeated just about every day, because I went from being this sort of dynamic, creative teacher where I thrived on working with my students to an office worker, and where it was completely different, and something that was causing me a lot of stress, a lot of heartache. And I just remember one day sitting at my desk and thinking, I can't do this. I can't do this today. And so I went on to my library's digital media, which is Hoopla. If you guys don't know Hoopla, then you need to wait until the end of this video, but then go and download Hoopla. If you're on BookTube, you probably know about all those library goodies, but my Hoopla credits are usually gone by like the 10th of the month. That's a different story. So I was on Hoopla, and I was just looking for something to read. And honestly, before this day, I was a pretty indiscriminate reader, which kind of sounds weird since I'm an English teacher, but I would just kind of read whatever the hype book was, whatever everybody was talking about. If somebody said, hey, have you read this? I'd say no, and I'd check it out. I'd pick something up off the shelf. And so I was looking through Hoopla. I was like, okay, let me just find something. I just need an escape. I just need something. I'm down. I just need something I want something fresh. I want something light. I want something just kind of uplifting. I just don't want to do anything too heavy. Life is heavy enough, right? And so that's kind of where I was mentally, and I came across The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. And if you have not read The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary, then you need to do so. That needs to be on your TBR like right now. So go ahead and add that wherever you're at. But I'm sure a lot of you probably have read that book. It was a big sort of splash for her, deservedly so. And I read the blurb and thought, oh, that sounds good. That sounds interesting. Well, I sat and read that book. That is what I did that day. I did zero work. I read The Flat Share. It kind of was the catalyst for this whole genre, because, of course, right after I finished it, I absolutely loved it, devoured that book. I'm a fast reader anyway, but I just consumed that book in one sitting, essentially. Like, I read it in one day, but immediately searched for other books by Beth O'Leary. And that's when I realized it was her debut novel. That still blows my mind that it was her first book, and I thought, wow, okay, well then I want to read something else like this. And that really sort of started the whole contemporary romance genre for me, and I've been there ever since. So that was for fall of 2021, I guess. So for a couple years now, I've sort of been in the genre, and I really love it. I love the dichotomy of sort of by day I'm teaching the paradoxes in Macbeth, and by night I'm reading, what's our protagonist going to do with only one bed? Just silly stuff. But it's fun, it's light, and it's, if you know what you're getting with it, and you know you're sort of like, okay, this is what it is, and you can like enjoy it. The little job kind of ended up being a blessing in disguise, as a lot of those kinds of things are. I ended up finding a genre that I love to read, but also I ended up writing my own romantic comedy, and I was just inspired. There's a helicopter, sorry. Yeah, that's definitely going to be in the video. I'm outside in my little she shed. So this is my little lit lair out here. That's why I call it the lit lair, because it's a little hidey hole. It's a little she shed out in my backyard. So if the helicopter's flying, that's definitely gonna be in there. But anyway, so I found my genre, but I also wrote my own romantic comedy, and I'm planning to publish that this summer. So I'm excited about that. That's a whole different journey, and maybe I'll share some of that on some separate YouTubes and stuff. But I guess the only other thing I would say is that my background as a teacher, I cannot abide bad writing. And so I guess with my recommendations, because I don't really want to bash anybody. Like, I know how hard it is to write a book. I'm not trying to come out here and tell what somebody did wrong and kind of bash them. That's not really what I want to do. That doesn't sound fun to me. So I really just kind of want to share what the books that I really love and why I love them. So that's more what I'm sort of aiming for, I guess, with my channel. But if I'm talking about a book and I'm excited about it, then it's well written. Now that doesn't mean that it's not going to have tropes and it's not going to conform to the formula of romance, because there's a formula and it's successful for a reason. Readers want to read it. So I don't think that working within the confines of a genre and its formula is a bad thing. I think that you have to be an even better writer to make it work sometimes, and to have it be that fresh take on something that you already are familiar with. So I don't want to focus on overhyped books either. So if I'm talking about a book, it's probably not going to be on Oprah's list or Reese's list or anything like that. I just kind of want to talk about the hidden gems. Maybe it's been around for a few years too, because I'm relatively new to this genre. That I think for me, it probably won't be brand new, just off the shelves kinds of things. It might be some books that have been around for a bit, some books that maybe weren't as hyped when they were released, but deserved to be, and just books that I love. So thank you for tuning in to my BookTube channel, and please subscribe to the Lit Lair if you want to get some good book recommendations in the genre of contemporary romance, and just hang out in my Lit Lair with me while I discuss books that I like. And thank you, and we'll see you next time.